let's discuss today from the investing point of view when debt is a good servant and when is an evil master. So if we scroll a little or zoom a little more up, how it all starts. When we don't have money, there are usually companies like banks or debt providing companies which are super happy to simply lend us some money. But if we borrow a lot of money, then we may find ourselves in pretty bad situation and unable to pay off debt. So the debt will start weighting us down. Let's take a closer look at a credit, or we can say debt, on a representative of its long-term version, which is called mortgage loan. So what are the basic loan parameters? So we have interest rate, which indicates the amount of interest and the period to which it applies. Then, much better than to use just interest to compare the loan in between themselves, is so-called APR, which is annual percentage rate, and it indicates the total cost of the loan including the fees. Then we have duration, which means how long the loan normally would take to be paid off, and based on that installments are calculated. And then we have terms, which are simply conditions if we can prepay it or if we can pay it sooner than its duration, if there are any fees, if we can cancel it, and if there are any penalties. So what we should definitely watch out for. So we should definitely compare the loans based on the APR. We should definitely read the terms and conditions and look out for hidden charges, such as various insurances and additional services which we don't really need. Or we may not need them, so it's definitely a good idea to check that. And we should know our financial situation in terms of income and expenses, so that we know if we can afford the loan. And interest, that's actually just another word for the price of the money. So now let's jump on the comparison when the debt is actually a good servant. So when we can use debt or credit as a good servant. If, for example, we take the state-supported housing loan, usually it's called the mortgage loan, or in Czech Republic it's called hypotéka, then we are actually investing into our future so that we have sure place where to live, and so that the cost of living would decrease in the future for us because we will own it. Then we can use loan or credit for education and expanding our skills. We can use loan to buy tools, services which we use for our business, or we can use loan for the purposes of investment, which is preceded by analysis. So we understand what are the benefits and drawbacks of such investment. Simply put, in general, a loan for the purpose of more profit or ability to earn more money in the future can be considered as good servant. So let's show it on examples. So if I just borrow some money at lower interest rate, then is the interest rate on my investment or the rate of inflation, then in average I'm actually making money, or simply letting money of someone else to be depreciated by the inflation. I can also borrow money to pay for education, which means my skills are increased, and then I can sell these skills to the work market or simply be able to bring some value to other people, which means this is increasing my earning power inside the or in the future. And of course, if I start some business, I can use loan to purchase goods or services which are necessary for my business or work I do, so that again in the future I'm able to earn more. So in general, I'm borrowing the money so that I can increase my earning power in the future or decrease my spending in the future. That's definitely usage of debt as a good servant. And now, unfortunately, there is also a way that debt can be used as an evil master. So let's list when it can actually hurt us. So if we buy something which is not bringing us any benefit or value in the future, if we just borrow money to invest into something that we have no idea what is it good for, we didn't do any analysis and we simply jump into it because everybody else is doing the same. So this can be pretty dangerous. I mean, we can make money, but we can also lose a lot of money which we are not able to lose. And then it can make our life pretty difficult. And then if we borrow money to buy unnecessary or consumable items, again, this is unlikely going to increase our earning power in the future. So simply put, when we use credit in a way that it actually takes money from us in the future, which means it's even making more difficult for us to pay off the debt or the credit that we took in the past. So you can imagine that taking loan is like borrowing something from your future self. So we definitely should do it in a way that our future self will be better off in the future. Because if we make our future self worse off, then obviously our future self would be pretty unhappy and we will reach that point in time in future. So let's quickly go over the examples. So if I buy things which are actually costing me money and I use debt for that and they are not generating profit, then as I mentioned, it will wait us in the future. If I use loan for investment without any analysis, so for example, I don't know there is a potential to lose all the money and I needed money to support my family. If I lose them, then I'm in real trouble. So it's necessary to know your financial situation and if we can afford this loan. And then we can also buy unnecessary or consumable items, and that's usually about us not having enough discipline or control over ourselves, so we simply buy every year new phone. If we earn the money to do it, then that's okay, but if we borrow the money, then we may find ourselves in the future in pretty tough situation. So sooner or later, this bad loan or credit will catch up, and then we may find ourselves in a situation that we are working at work, which we really don't like, but we have to do it because there is a loan to pay off. And if we stop paying off this loan, then obviously the bank can, for example, take our house, or we can simply get into the pretty bad situation. So be really careful about using debt as an evil master. And that's it.